Matinee here today, folks. Norristown versus Upper Merion. Rivalry that has run through the area for the last, I guess, 100 years, we would say. Unfortunately, it sort of fell apart about 10 years ago. Now the rivalry is back as these two teams are league rivals now. I'm Greg Fry, joined by Walt Fry. Beautiful day here at Roosevelt Field. Norristown coming off of a tough loss last week against North Penn. Upper Marion coming off of a very tough season.
Well, the North Penn loss was a playoff loss, and obviously those are going to be your toughest losses of the season. It'd be interesting to see how Norristown reacts, having a football game after a playoff loss. They haven't encountered that in a few years.
So we're about ready for action here. Matt Spicco going to kick off for Norristown. He'll kick back to two deep men for Upper Marion. One of the deep men back there is number 5, Matt Booker, and number 25, and that's Paul McVoy. We are ready. The band is rolling, and we are underway. Spicco's kick flubs to an up-man. Ball is live. Taken upfield, and a great tackle there by 53, Donovan Palmer. Matt Booker returned that ball. Norristown does not let him out to the 20. So the Norristown defense will trot on the field. A great season for them. They've had some problems in the last couple of games trying to keep teams contained, I guess I'd say, in the fourth quarter. North Penn getting 2 late touchdowns in the fourth quarter in that devastating playoff loss last week. But this is a defense that has dominated on their side of the ball this year. The quarterback for Upper Marion is number 9, Jeremy Boyd. He's 2 backs in the backfield. And the handoff there goes to number 29, Mike Fulaniti. Look to see a lot from B.J. Bridge, the 1,000-yard rusher for Upper Marion, who's had such a great year for them. He's been their main source of offense. Upper Marion, a 3-7 team that's really struggled this year. Started out the year 0-3, then had 3 good wins against Wissahickon, Upper Dublin, and Souderton, but then they're in the midst of a 4-game losing streak right now. Sorry. So we'll call it a gain of 2 on the play. Shift here from Upper Marion, the handoff. Or no, excuse me, Boyd will roll out the pass. Finds a man over to the right side, and he's tackled out of bounds at about the 29-yard line. Receiver right there was Fulaniti. So very close to a first down. He did not get it, however. It'll be 3rd and very, very short. The officials timeout here on the field. And Norristown with that 28-27 loss last week. That, of course, knocked them out of the playoffs, but this is a team that we can't underestimate everything that they've done this year. And we can't say enough that this team has really worked hard all year. And at that game last week, it could have gone either way. And if you play that game 10 more times, I think it's even 5-5.
Yeah, and I think given that the seasons that the two teams had, even though Norristown did dominate, I think after that loss to Upper Dublin, some people started to look at them, question them a little bit. It was the first time their defense was really tested, and they didn't respond as you would have expected based on their previous games. So in that kind of situation, I think most people probably would have predicted North Penn, and Norristown was right there and certainly had every chance in the world to win it. But I think you've seen with Central Bucks West beating North Penn handily last night that the playoffs have probably shaken out the way you would have expected with the 4 teams that were involved.
Both of those teams that played last week, of course, they've been fighting in the rankings all year in the state. Norristown going over North Penn for a week, I believe, and then North Penn coming back. And, of course, being the powerhouse and being Saturday, we know that CB West did defeat North Penn to become the 4A District 1 champions. And a sneak there, and Boyd held on to the ball, and he'll get himself a first down. We've only had 4 games here at Roosevelt Field this year, and this is the first day game. Of course, the second day game will be Thursday morning, the Thanksgiving game against PW. Of course, rivalry had started 2 years ago, and tradition that hopefully will continue for many years to come. Boyd once again under center. Handoff goes to the man up the middle. That's 25, Paul McAvoy. He'll get about 2 or 3 yards, stopped in there by the interior defense of Norristown. Call it 2nd and 8, 2 backs in the backfield. The shift again. Boyd will hand off to B.J. Bridge. That's the first time we've called his name today. He'll get 3 or 4 of the rushing game. Moving the ball a little bit right here at the early stages of the game.
And Upper Merion right now is taking a very conservative approach, just keeping on the ground. And I think in the past few games, some teams have shown that they can run against Norristown, even with that 5-man front that they play. So Upper Merion, that being the stronger part of their game, is going to go on the ground right now, try and get themselves settled, and maybe put up some early points.
Jeremy Boyd only throwing for 636 yards on 88 attempts this year. Bridge up the middle. He runs over a man, but good job to stay with the tackle. Be very close. We'll see if that's a first down.
Norristown in that time was number 25, Terry Powell. Was just coming off his block. Did so nicely, but didn't have time to really get his feet under him before Bridge hit him square between the pads. And Bridge drove Powell for a couple more yards.
Once again, we'll have a measurement. Bridge very close to that first down. As Upper Merion is out to about the 42-yard line. Well, this is an Upper Merion team that averages 21.4 points a game, but allows 25.2, and at 3 and 7, sometimes it's tough to keep your momentum going, especially with a 4-game losing streak that they have right now.
Yeah, but this is the kind of game though that can put the intensity back into your game. Rivalries are certainly great when they mean something. I mean, look no farther than today's game. Of course, this game will be tape delayed, but talking about Saturday, November 20th in college football, you have a Florida State game, or in the case of Norristown North Penn, last year's final game of the regular season, that game was to get some playoff seeding, and possibly for one of those teams it meant being out of the playoffs. So those rivalries that develop, and when the game really means something, they're just incredibly heated. This game, it's a very relaxed atmosphere with sort of a skeleton crowd and a skeleton crew working it. But I think with no playoff pressure anymore, you might see the best of these two teams.
The flag before the play, somebody appears to have jumped. I can say from ever since I can remember, and there's never been a bad Norristown North Penn game. We had one 3 or 4 years ago. It wound up being a 1-point North Penn win, and then, of course, last year's playoff victory against the victory to get into the playoffs against North Penn, and of course that great game up there last week. Well, false start on the play, back them up 5 yards. So 1st and 15. Handoff goes to Bridge. He's strung out to the outside. 50, Jameel Butler, number 9, Trey Hadrick, 2 of the senior captains out there to make that play.
And Bridge, at 250 pounds, will eventually wear down the Norristown defense if it's Butler and Hadrick making the tackles all day. Those front 5 on the Norristown line are going to have to put some initial hits and stop Bridge before he gets through that line, because with your backers and your safeties making tackles all day and a fullback of that size, that's really going to wear him down.
Of course, the rushing game is so important. The 2 losses that Norristown have had this year, both games, the rusher for the opposing team has really had a big night. Boyd rolls out the pass, being tracked down, and he'll just throw that one away. Good pursuit there by number 59, Eric Benitez. So 3rd and long for Upper Merion. Their drive appears to have stalled a little bit.
And now Upper Merion will have the choice. Do they want to go for that first down, which, based on their running game, will probably have to come through the air, or do they just want to try and keep it on the ground, bang out Bridge for a couple more yards, and kick back to the Eagles? But Upper Marion is going to use the rollout in their passing game. Not a real good pocket passing team. And Norristown, with their speed, should be able to contain that rollout fairly well.
A line of receivers to the near side, one to the far side. They'll hand up the middle to Fulaniti. He'll get back to the original line of scrimmage, but that'll be it. Upper Marion forced to punt. So the two men trotting back for Norristown, number 4, Ricky Preet, and number 5, Audley Stewart. The punter is the big fullback, B.J. Bridge. He's back around his 30-yard line. A high kick from Bridge. Preet will call for a fair catch at about the 31-yard line. And that's where Norristown offense will come onto the field. Of course, the Norristown offense today with two really big weapons that they look at. Of course, Troy Swittenberg, the All-State running back, and Audley Stewart, their quarterback. Swittenberg has run for over 1,500 yards this year. And Audley Stewart has done such a great job at that quarterback position, really maturing into a great quarterback. So Stewart under center on first down. Handoff, or no, Stewart will roll out. He's got a block in front of him, Samba, and Stewart breaks free. Touchdown saving tackle right there as Audley Stewart gets out to the 40-yard line. A huge 30-yard run by the quarterback, and that's the element that he brings to that quarterback position.
Right, and that's the element that the fear that Troy Swittenberg puts into the other team. When you fake that handoff, Upper Marion was king right on Swittenberg off the first carry, and Audley Stewart, that was a keeper all the way.
Give the quarterback and the running back credit on that. They sold it to the defense. Rolled out right there. Number 7, Lou Samba, the fullback. Nice job of blocking. Stewart's pointing at him, telling him, you know, if you make that block, I have a big run ahead of me. I'm sure I'll thank him for that one. And now the handoff goes to Swittenberg off the left side. Good push by the Norristown offensive line. He'll get about 6 or 7 on the carry. Just like that, Norristown is in Upper Marion territory.
And the keeper with Stewart is always an option, but really a great call to use it on the first offensive play of the game for the Eagles. Certainly with Upper Marion expecting heavy dose of Troy Swittenberg, Audley Stewart was a big surprise.
Swittenberg once again, he bounces off of 2 tacklers and gets himself a first down. The elusiveness of Troy Swittenberg and the hard work gets him there. This is a Norristown team that's not far into scoring points. The least amount of points they've scored in a game this year is 21. This is a team that knows how to put points on the board, and they will get it done.
And they do it from everywhere. They've had some big defensive plays, big fumble returns, interception returns. They'll grind it out down the field, and of course, breakaway ability with Swittenberg and Audley Stewart.
So another first down for Norristown from inside the 30. Terrell, the man in motion. Stewart will hand up right there to Lou Samba up the middle for a couple of yards. Once again, getting all the backs involved and getting Troy Swittenberg a breather, and now he'll trot back onto the field. We saw in that Upper Dublin game, the homecoming game last month, Norristown did not put points on the board early, and that's really what hurt them in that game. Is Upper Dublin always had the idea that they could get back into the game, and they did. The pitch outside to Swittenberg. He's got a lot of room over to that side. He'll bounce outside. 10-5, touchdown. Troy Swittenberg. 28-yard run. He got to the outside. Didn't like what he saw. Stopped. Looked back outside. 6-0 Norristown.
And a great block by Ernie Terrell. They've sent Terrell in motion on most of these plays on this first series. And again, it was Terrell in motion, number 88, to the right. And this time they pitched to Swittenberg to go off to the right. Terrell just locked up Mike Gallagher, the cornerback, out on that left side of the Upper Marion defense. had to hold that block for at least 5 seconds, and as Swittenberg ran right at Terrell to see which way he should go, just bounced it outside, and Terrell still had the block locked up. Swittenberg coasted in.
Spitko now on for the extra point. Hold is down, the kick is up, and it's good. So 7-0 lead for Norristown. Just over 3 minutes left to play in the first quarter. The quick striking offense of Norristown gets them 7 early, and now the Upper Merion offense will have to come back and try and sustain that drive a little bit that they had last time. Prove that they can put some points on the board too.
And Upper Merion, that wasn't a bad drive for them to start the game. A couple of first downs and some short yardage first downs, but you have to also count on your defense to come back out and hold the other team for a while your offense tries to figure out what adjustments they need to make. And in that case, just 4 quick running plays for the Eagles puts them 70 yards into the end zone.
Once again, the men deep, McVoy and Matt Booker back there. Spitko once again on the kickoff. A high kick sending Booker back to his own 3-yard line, and he'll bring it out. Booker almost loses his head. Donovan Palmer once again. Whew, what a tackle out there. Matt Booker's probably wondering where he is right about now. That's a ferocious hit on him.
And the great deep kick by Spitko allowed Norristown to bust up that Upper Merion wedge. And Palmer was the first guy in.
So starting from just over the 20-yard line. Bridge, the only man in the backfield, now Fulinetti, but they'll give it to Bridge. He fights his way up the field for about 2 yards. BJ Bridge, like we said, one of the few sources and one of the only bright spots for Upper Merion on that offensive side of the ball. It's a real big guy to be bringing down.
And surprisingly, has a 7.9 yard per carry average. It's very high for a fullback and a guy of his size in an offense that doesn't have a whole lot of other weapons.
Now the handoff to Fulinetti. He'll get close to the first down marker, be about 1.5 yards short.
What Upper Merion does have is some decent size on the offensive line. Their 2 tackles are, one is absolutely massive, number 79, Chris Tyson at 6'9", 310. Take a look on that left side, you'll see him towering over the huddle. And then number 77, Charles Mattis on the other side is 6'2", 245. So they have a back who goes between the tackles, and they certainly have a good pair of bookend tackles to go between.
Fulinetti now, he will get the first down and squirt free. Good run there by Fulinetti. He gets out to the 43-yard line.
And that time it was the right side of the Upper Merion offensive line, including Mattis, pulled around to lead Fulinetti. You saw them get a great push upfield on that Norristown defensive line. That took the couple of defensive backs for Norristown to bring down Fulinetti.
So 1.5 minutes left in this first quarter. Boyd under center, Bridge will get the ball. We'll get about 3 or 4. With a guy that big, the thing that you like about handing it off to the fullback is that he doesn't get a lot of negative yardage.
Yeah, so far there has been a lot of positive yardage. Norristown has not gotten the penetration. And Bridge is obviously a straight ahead kind of guy, covers the ball up. And I guess that's how he gets that 7.9 yards per carry average, is by going straight ahead. And obviously a defense inferior to Norristown's is going to miss some tackles. So throughout the year, I'm sure Bridge has broken some long ones.
And off to Fulinetti, he'll swing to the outside and get himself another first down. They like that play, bringing Fulinetti over to that far sideline. That's the one that they've run for success. And, of course, like you said, Walt, behind Tyson. Now from the Norristown side of midfield. Boyding up and Marion with another first down. This time they'll go to Bridge up the middle. He'll fight forward for about 3 yards. So that'll be the last play of the first quarter. Norristown up 7-0, but Upper Marion driving right now. They'll be going back the other way with a little bit of momentum on their side of the ball.
And with only, I believe, 2 pass attempts, both by Upper Marion in that first quarter. Quarter lasted only about 20 to 25 minutes real time. So this matinee game is going to fly, and nobody's going to have trouble getting home for dinner, that's for sure. But as we said, it's a very relaxed atmosphere. Got to be close to 70 degrees. A lot of short sleeve shirts out there. Small crowd. I'm not sure how many people were even aware of this game. But certainly it's nice for these two teams to reenact and reestablish this rivalry. Certainly born mostly out of location and tradition. And for these two teams to, like I said, for Norristown to play after losing that tough playoff game without any playoff pressure, and for Upper Marion, obviously a win over Norristown would add a lot of fun to their 3-7 season.
Hard to believe the last time these two teams played, you were in high school, Walt.
And you've already mentioned when the last time they played was, so everybody's going to have to rewind the tape and figure that out, because I'm not volunteering anything.
I'll give you a hint, folks. Add 10.